The calendar is counting down and the clock is ticking away. And very soon, school bells will be ringing, which means children will be back in the classroom. But before that, a lot of things must be done, so get your pen and paper out as we help you check off your list of things to do as you prepare for back to school. Any vibration at all can be a trigger for some persons, so we share reminders of what to do in an earthquake and how to manage your health. Those and so much more coming up in the show. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for making it Jamaica Magazine.
Jamaicans, look on the murder rate. You think that normal? We need to get every illegal gun and save our country.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Thursday, August 22, 2024. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, has reduced its policy interest rate for the first time in nearly 2 years. The policy rate signals to commercial banks and other deposit-taking institutions, DTIs, the direction in which the BOJ wants lending rates to trend for businesses and consumers. Since November 2022, the central bank has maintained its policy rate at 7%. That changed on August 21 when it was reduced by 25 basis points to 6.75%. This reduction means that commercial banks and other DTIs could commence lowering the rates at which they offer loans and other lines of credit to consumers.
And a reduction of 0.25 is the beginning, we hope, of better times ahead when we can reduce rates in the future. May not be to the 0.5, but certainly that it will come down. So I think we should interpret this as a cautious signal that we intend to loosen policy further in the future if conditions remain as positive as they are.
The central bank governor was addressing a press conference held at the Montego Bay Convention Center on Wednesday. He says easing the monetary policy reflects the bank's view that headline inflation will continue to be stable in the target range of 4 to 6%, notwithstanding an expected short-term uptick in the next 3 to 5 months due to Hurricane Beryl. As to whether this decision will affect the country's gross domestic product, GDP, the governor has this to say.
Will it impact GDP? I don't know that 25 basis points will. I doubt it. But as I say, business people can say to themselves when they are making decisions that, well, interest rates generally in Jamaica are on the way down, barring unforeseen circumstances. And therefore, they can start to put in place forward-looking plans.
In the meantime, BOJ will also continue to gradually reduce the absorption of liquidity from deposit-taking institutions through its open market operations. Already, since that decision was taken at the end of June, there has been an injection of $21 billion into the system and reduction of the interest rates on BOJ's 30-day certificates of deposit. 3 indigent houses were handed over to residents in north central Clarendon this week. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie presented the new homeowners with their keys on Tuesday. The 1-bedroom and 2 two-bedroom units have been fully retrofitted with furniture. They were constructed at a cost of $27 million under the ministry's Indigent Housing program.
We are building these houses because we want, when persons who have benefited from these houses lie down, they feel a sense of pride because they pay their taxes. They have contributed to the growth and the development of Jamaica. Without some of these people, we couldn't survive because they have built the foundation on which as a country we are progressing.
The minister commended the work of the Poor Relief Department in getting these units off the ground.
When they go out into the fields to do the assessment, it is not just doing the assessment alone that they do. They come back and they plead the cases. The ministry is going to be providing an additional 6 million to the Poor Relief Department right across the municipality to assist with back to school for the children of indigent poor.
Recipient of the one-bedroom unit, Alan Edwards, says he is overjoyed at the work that the government is doing.
Our beloved Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Mr. Andrew, yes. He has restored my hope. He has restored my pride. He has restored my dignity. And I thank him forever.
National Housing Trust mortgagors whose properties were damaged by Hurricane Beryl now have until August 26 to file claims under the Homeowners Comprehensive Policy Peril Insurance. Corporate Risk and Insurance Manager at the NHT, Stephen Clark, announced the deadline extension while speaking at a recent JS think tank. He says the decision was taken to provide qualifying contributors with ample time to submit their claims.
To make a peril claim, we have made the process very easy. You can access forms and guidelines. The guidelines are on our website. You can visit any one of our branches. And we have reps in branch ready to serve and to ensure that the process is completed seamlessly.
To submit a claim, mortgagors are required to provide valid identification, their taxpayer registration number TRN, proof of address, the location of the property, and the damage they have suffered.
So after you would have done that, in the case of Hurricane Beryl, we ask that you get an estimate done by a certified or a reputable repairer and submit that estimate to the branch along with a completed form and pictures outlining whatever damage you would have suffered.
A letter of authorization must also be presented if someone is submitting a claim on behalf of the mortgagor. Government, through the National Fisheries Authority NFA, will be supplying ice to fisherfolk in St. Elizabeth to help with fish storage as the community continues to deal with ongoing electricity outages. Fisheries Minister Floyd Green says the authority is committed to delivering ice to the fishing villages once or twice a week until power is fully restored. In addition, he says the ministry is working on establishing long-term storage facilities for fishing communities to ensure that operations can continue even during power outages.
We know that we always need the storage, but we also have to establish the storage in a way that if electricity goes, we can still have a facility that fishers can carry their fish to and store. So we're going to be looking at retrofitting some containers, using solar energy, using battery powered, and establish some storage capacity in various areas.
The storage units are to be strategically located near fishing villages, ensuring that fishers have easy access whenever it's needed.
We are looking at our fisheries sector in a holistic manner. We know that this is your livelihood. We know that this is what you use to send your children to school. We know that without it, Jamaica will be worse off. So our goal is to ensure that we keep it moving.
The minister made the announcements during a recent ceremony to hand over supplies to fishers at Parity Beach in St. Elizabeth. And finally, 200 teachers will receive scholarships valued at $31 million in the upcoming academic year to pursue training in financial education. The initiative is the result of a partnership between the Ministry of Education and Profit Jumpstarter Academy, which will deliver the training through an online portal. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during her address at the Build Wealth Conference 2024 held recently at the AC Marriott Hotel in Kingston. She emphasizes the importance of the initiative, stating that it is designed to enhance teachers' ability to teach financial literacy and effective money management.
The scholarships, totaling $31 million, are designed to enhance financial literacy among teachers who will subsequently impart their knowledge to their students and the broader community. And so I want to extend our gratitude to Profit Jumpstarter and the over 20 sponsors whose support has made this significant investment possible.
Chief Executive Officer of Profit Jumpstarter Academy, Keisha Bailey, adds that the financial training sessions will allow for teachers to gain the necessary skills to build wealth.
The educators learn how to build wealth so they can teach the students, they can help the parents as well. And through doing so, that's how we build a better Jamaica. That's how we build a better world as well.
And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, here are 5 benefits of being a beneficiary of the Students' Loan Bureau. 1. Benefit from our 99% approval rate. 2. Benefit from our low interest rate, so less burden when you need to repay. 3. Benefit from the fact that we require no collateral when applying. 4. We're giving you more time to focus on your studies while we focus on the financing. No need to worry about repaying while in school. Number 5. Receive a 14 months grace period after your graduation date before you enter repayment. Don't forget to follow us on all SLB platforms for more SLB info.
In the aftermath of the 5.3 magnitude earthquake last Friday, it's important to keep abreast of what to do and how to take care of your health in the event of a bigger quake.
When an earthquake strikes, it can cause disruption of electricity and communications, infrastructural damage, serious injuries and fatalities, as well as lingering emotional trauma. Because an earthquake can strike at any time without warning, on today's program we share safety tips for you to keep in mind. It is very important to know what to do before, during, and after an earthquake to ensure we stay safe. Before an earthquake occurs, an emergency response plan should be in place, which should be understood by all occupants of a building or institution. It's also important to select safety wardens to manage the movement of personnel inside and outside of a building and to check the building before re-entry. Safety wardens should also conduct periodic earthquake drills to ensure everyone is clear about what to do when a disaster takes place. Another tip is to identify safe spots at home, work, and frequently visited locations. These spots include under sturdy tables or desks, structurally sound or strongly supported doorways, and inside of a small room or hallway. Parents and guardians are also encouraged to talk to their children about natural disasters and steps they should take to protect themselves.
It's very important that our teachers and our parents have this conversation with our children. This is a very important practice that we should develop in our children. And indeed, right across our public and private sectors, it is a requirement that you have safety wardens appointed in your institutions. You should now be carrying out your drills and being prepared.
Whenever an earthquake occurs, it normally stirs up strong feelings amongst persons who experience it. These feelings are sometimes manifested in depression, anxiety, stress, difficulty breathing, chest and muscle pains, feeling faint, dazed, lightheaded, or angry, as well as stomach aches.
We recommend to Jamaicans who may be experiencing those symptoms to, firstly, they can consult their doctor, whether in a private or public space. But there are other less intense ways to manage these types of mental wellness or mental health challenges. Talking to a friend or family member, I encourage others to remain safe, getting rest, reestablishing a return to routine, and just asking for help if you need that help.
The precautions that you should take during an earthquake will be determined by where you are when the shaking begins.
During an incident of this nature, we know that it gets a little bit dramatic and persons want to call each other, but we are asking persons not to use cell phones during these kind of incidents unless it is absolutely necessary.
Desist from making prank calls to the emergency services such as the police and the Jamaica Fire Brigade.
What it does is tie up resources that are needed elsewhere, and so it makes our job that much more difficult.
If you are inside of a building, use the drop, cover, and hold technique and stay put until the shaking stops. If you are outside, stay at least 10 feet away from any building from which window, glass, and other debris could fall. Move away from trees, streetlights, and power lines. Crouch down and cover your head. If you are in a vehicle, park in a location away from trees, wires, buildings, bridges, and overpasses. Stay where you are with your safety belt fastened until the earthquake is over. Never stop under or on a bridge. Be patient, be courteous, obey road traffic regulations, follow the directions of the police, yield immediately to emergency vehicles, and do not block intersections. After the earthquake, exit buildings by using the stairs and not elevators. Inspect buildings for cracks, shifts in pillars, posts, and other beams and structural members, and seek a professional assessment if there is any damage.
And also to ensure that you're checking for leaks, especially gas leaks, if you have gas lines running through your homes.
For more information about what to do before, during, and after an earthquake, visit the ODPEM's website at odpem.org.jm.
Apply to the Heart NSTA Trust. Learn a new skill and expand your horizons. Your government has made it completely free to you.
We are very close to the start of the new school year, and by now you should have a few things in place. If not, here are some tips to get you on track.
If your child will be wearing uniforms or shoes from the last school year, check if they can still fit. You don't want to be caught off guard finding out they're too small the day before school reopens. Next, check their immunization card to ensure your child is up to date with the required shots. If not, now is a good time to get this done. As you continue your preparation, take an inventory of school books and supplies you have at home and remove those from your current list. Book drives are common at this time, so remember to check with neighbors, friends, the school, church, or other sources for books that are on your list. To avoid being overwhelmed, do your shopping in two parts. Uniforms, shoes, and any other clothing items could be done one day, while books and other stationery supplies could be done another. If you are reusing school or lunch bags, wash them ahead of time and ensure the zippers are working. Now is also a good time to start adjusting bedtimes to get your child back into a routine. And don't leave all the book wrapping and labeling of personal items for last. Once you have these items, start right away and spread it out over a few days. Review safety measures if your child takes public transportation. And if they're going to a new school on a new route, take them at least 2 times before school starts to get them familiar with the buses to take. You should also consider scheduling hair grooming appointments to avoid the last-minute rush. These are just a few tips to get your back-to-school checklist started.
Hi everyone, let's talk granting aid. Eligible targeted loan applicants may receive a non-repayable granting aid of $60,000. These funds can be used for school-related expenses such as traveling, buying food, housing, or purchasing a laptop, for example. Eligibility is determined by the financial circumstances of applicants and the availability of grants. Apply early at slbja.com and be one of 4,200 beneficiaries of our granting aid.
Children dealing with mobility issues caused by spasticity, a type of muscle stiffness, need to look no further than in the country for treatment to help improve their quality of life. Let's explore the life-changing possibilities.
A mother or father's wish for his or her child. That he or she is happy, healthy, able, and will achieve his or her full potential. Even in the face of disabilities, these aspirations are affirmed with extra care and the outpouring of love in support of children with special needs. And the children themselves, some not able to freely move due to a condition known as spasticity, have strong faith in their abilities. Spasticity, or muscle toning, is a type of muscle stiffness seen in children with neurological conditions such as cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy is a name that describes a group of conditions where there's injury to the brain, the developing brain, that occurs during pregnancy, in utero, at the time of delivery, or up until 3 years old. And it affects a part of the brain that controls movement, the motor section.
With the varying degrees of cerebral palsy, some children may have issues with comprehension or understanding. Others have seizures and problems talking, swallowing, hearing, or seeing. Despite the struggles, the possibilities are bright for children living in Jamaica with this and other conditions that affect the ability to walk. Medical interventions are now allowing some disabled children to walk for the first time and for others to walk better, ultimately having an improved quality of life.
I think what we have brought is a comprehensive approach to addressing the problem, where all the medical professionals, including nurses, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, the surgeons, the rehabilitation and specialists and physiatrists, and the neurosurgeons and neurologists have come together, working with the hospital, working with the pharmacists to try and solve the problems of each child individually. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. So for example, in my specialties, some of them may need a surgical procedure on the lower back, which we call a dorsal rhizotomy, where we will resect some of the nerve or divide some of the nerves to allow them to move the legs more freely.
Other options for treatment include injecting the muscles or around the nerves with medication that decrease muscle tone or muscle stiffness. These medications include phenol or botulinum toxin type A, Botox. Specialist teams at the Bustamante Hospital for Children and the University Hospital of the West Indies, along with partners from overseas, have been pioneering treatments for these children.
The children are assessed. They're assessed by the physiatrists, they're assessed by the physiotherapists, and a diagnosis is made, and then a particular treatment is prescribed that's tailor-made for that child's disability.
Assistive aids such as braces, walkers, and other orthotic devices provide important support to children dealing with spasticity and the pain or discomfort it causes.
It's important for children with movement problems to be positioned properly. Without good positioning, the stiffness can pull the joints out of alignment. And so when they're very early, we put them in what we call braces or orthotics. And these orthotics will maintain a proper alignment of the joint, preventing the ankles from being deformed, preventing the fingers from being deformed.
The braces help with standing, balance, and overall mobility.
If you start from toe upwards, you have what we call ankle-foot orthosis. AFO is the quick acronym. You have orthosis or braces that includes the knee, ankle-foot orthosis that allows for stability. You have some that we use at the hip to keep the hip apart. We use some at the elbows as well, or the wrists, so wrist orthosis. Some patients may require spine orthosis. Those are not usually used in the neuromuscular children, meaning the children with cerebral palsy and weakness. And if they are able to stand and balance, they get walkers to ambulate or wheelchairs so the parents and caregivers can carry them around comfortably.
There are several risk factors for cerebral palsy.
The risk factors include poor antenatal care. It also includes children that are born very young, premature delivery, less than 28 weeks, because the brain is very delicate, and any changes in oxygenation can affect the brain. Low birth weight as well, when children are born very low. Different types of infections can cause it.
And even after delivery, there's the risk from head injury and infections such as meningitis and jaundice, among other things. Doctors say the risk of developing cerebral palsy can be minimized.
Parents need to know that you must have proper antenatal care, proper enough to take the pregnancy to full term, to 40 weeks, so the child's brain and body and blood vessels can develop properly. In addition to that, good health care condition for the mother, and delivery, safe delivery is always important, and postnatally, meaning after they're delivered, is to ensure that the children are healthy, they get their vaccinations, they're not exposed to any infection, there's no trauma to the brain, environment is safe, so you don't have exposure to chemicals that can also cause it, or to accidents or near drowning and stuff like that.
Children's exposure to toxic chemicals such as paints with lead in them, herbicides, pesticides, or household chemicals with pungent odors, either ingested or inhaled, can cause brain damage and must be avoided. Our best option for good health is always prevention, but that aside, effective curative measures offer hope and great joy.
We do have children walking who weren't able to walk before. We do have children sitting who couldn't sit before. I had a patient once where the legs were crossed, scissored we call it, where the legs were scissored at the hips, and the mother wasn't able to clean her properly or carry her. So when she used to carry her in the front. So we injected between the legs, and she came back. She was very happy. I'm like, why are you so happy? She's like, me can lap her now. I said, what do you mean by that? Because we injected between the legs, she could open the legs, so she could now carry her on the side, one foot in the front, one in the back, and a bag.
We hear of another story from Aunt Avia, who cares for her nephew Emilio.
His name is Emilio Morris. He's 12 years old. At one point, his foot was like turning like this. So now they cast it at the Bustamante. He said come back around straight. So now he's wearing a braces. At one point he used to creep, but now he doesn't creep. At one point his knee was very tight, but now it's not so tight. Things kind of better now, being that him get the injection. He used to get fizzy. They want him to stand up in the brace.
Kenil Baker is 13 years old. He was born with cerebral palsy, low motor skills. Basically, he cannot walk without assistance.
We have been coming to this clinic for some time now, where he has gotten injections and has done a surgery, which has helped him tremendously. He could not lay on his stomach. After the surgery, he was able to lay on his stomach and turn over, roll over. He is able to stretch out his hands and legs. And for bathing him, it has been made much easier for caring for him. He could not feed himself. He's trying to feed himself now. Well, you can leave him with food and he will feed himself. He's a very happy child. And we have good support from family and friends. And thank God we do. He's our joy. He's our joy.
Jamaica is on the move with smarter and cleaner transportation. The government is enhancing the JUTC fleet with 100 new CNG buses with 10 specially outfitted for the disabled. Running on compressed natural gas, these buses reduce emissions while offering advanced safety features and Wi-Fi. Jamaica is driving in comfort towards a sustainable future.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, gis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm or via X at GIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Matron Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.